ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Yes, continuation to the last class. In previous class, we are discussed the first difference between the living and non-living organisms, that is the cellular organization. Definitely before going to the details of all differences between the living and non-living organisms, at first overall when we observe the principal differences between the living and non-living organisms, first is that living organisms shows the cellular organization, whereas it is absent in the case of the non-living. Definitely living organisms shows the sensitivity or response. Sensitivity or response, what is it? I will tell you later in detail. Sensitivity or response, but that is absent in the non-living organism. Again, in the living organisms, growth is appears. Such growth is also appears in the case of the non-living. Growth is not only appears in the case of the living organism, growth is also appears in the non-living things. So that only we cannot say growth is the fundamental definitive character of the living organism, because growth is also appears in the non-living things also. Then what are the differences between the growth of living and non-living, we will see later. Next, metabolism is appears in the case of the living organism, whereas it is absent in the non-living. Reproduction is appears in the case of the living organism, whereas it is absent in the non-living. Evolution is appears in the case of the living organism, whereas it is absent in the non-living. Senescence or mortality. Senescence or mortality is appears in the case of the living, whereas it is absent in the non-living. Once again I want to repeat that. In living organisms, cellular organization is appears, but it is absent in the non-living. In living organisms, sensitivity or responses appears against to environment, whereas it is absent in the non-living. Growth is appears in both living as well as non-living. In both of them definitely growth is appears. So that only we cannot say the growth is a fundamentally definitive character of the living organism. Again, metabolism is appears in the case of the living, but that is absent in the case of the non-living. Reproduction is appears in the case of the living, that is absent in the non-living. Evolution is appears in the case of the living, but that is absent in the non-living. Senescence or mortality is appears in the living, that is absent in the non-living. Then what is the sensitivity or response? Definitely we have to see in detail of sensitivity, growth, metabolism, reproduction, evolution, senescence or mortality one by one of them. In the last class already I have told to you what is the cellular level of organization. Next one is the sensitivity or response. Sensitivity or response. What is the sensitivity means? In almost all living organisms, certain type of the responses are appears against to the external or internal stimuli. Either against to the external stimuli or against to the internal stimuli, certain type of the responses are gets evoked in each and every living organism. That kind of the response is said to be as the sensitivity or response or irritable nature, that is said to be as the irritable nature. That is nothing but response, that is the sensitivity. So each and every living organism, if it can be shows response against to the external or internal stimuli, then we can say that is the sensitivity. So definitely external stimuli, internal stimuli. Definitely, what is external stimuli? That may be physical, that may be chemical, that may be biological. External stimuli may be physical, may be chemical, may be biological. Definitely external stimuli may be physical stimuli, that may be chemical stimuli, that may be biological stimuli. Then what is the physical stimuli? Means if anyone beats on our body with high pressure, definitely we may be shows a response, we may be tries to escape from that kind of the person. If anyone continuously beats on our body, definitely we may be tries to escape from that fellow, we may be tries to escape from that kind of the person to avoid that kind of the continuous beating. That is said to be as the physical stimuli. Definitely against to continuous beating, against to applying of high pressure on our body, definitely we may be fastly shows the walking or fastly shows the running to easily escape from that kind of the continuous beating or continuous applying of pressure. That is the physical stimuli or chemical stimuli. If near to our house or in our neighboring, in our surroundings, tasteful food material if it is there, tasteful food material if it is there, definitely in our on seeing the food material, definitely salivary juice is secreted into the oral cavity. Means on seeing the food or with the taste of the food material, with the sense of the smell of food material, salivary juice is secreted into our oral cavity, that is nothing but chemical stimuli. Means on seeing the food, tasteful food material, or with the sense of the smell of tasteful food material, or with the taste of the food material, definitely salivary juice is releases into our oral cavity, that is the chemical stimuli. Third biological stimuli means all of a sudden if a snake is appears in front of our body while we are walking, all of a sudden a snake is across us, definitely that snake is acts as the biological stimuli to our body. Definitely we may be starts escaping from that kind of the snake by the fast running. Means any type of the other animal, if it can be acts as the stimuli, that is said to be as the biological stimuli. Either for the physical stimuli, or for the chemical stimuli, or for the biological stimuli, we must be shows the response, that is nothing but external stimuli response. Next to internal stimuli. Definitely in our body, nervous system is present, endocrine system is present. They are responsible for cause the internal stimuli. They are responsible for cause the response against to the internal stimuli. For example, if we are with hunger, definitely we want to feed on food material. Means a feeling of feeding is nothing but internal stimuli. A feeling of feeding is nothing but internal stimuli. Means definitely in our body, due to the nervous system as well as the endocrine system involvement, definitely responses are gets evoked against to the internal stimuli also. For example, whenever the person is with vigorous exercise, during that person must be requires higher amount of oxygen to the vigorously contracted muscle. So definitely that is acts as the internal stimuli. That requirement of oxygen is acts as the internal stimuli. Then immediately this nervous system take part and pass the message to the respiratory system. Then person's breathing rate is increases according to that. By that way, higher amount of oxygen is supplied to the tissue. Means because of due to the involvement of the endocrine system as well as nervous system, this responses are gets evoked inside of body against to the internal stimuli. In that way, stimuli may be external, stimuli may be internal. Again, plants also shows the response against to temperature, against to light, against to water. Definitely not only animals shows the response against to the external stimuli as well as internal stimuli, plants also shows the stimulus against to the temperature. Plants also shows the response against to the temperature, against to light, against to water. In that way, definitely all kind of the living organisms must be shows response against to the external stimuli or internal stimuli. So this kind of the response, this kind of the irritable nature may not be appears in the case of the non-living organisms. In the case of the non-living thing, this response may not be appear. For example, if we can touches this duster, if we can touches this wood, it may not be shows any response against to our touch. Means non-living objects, non-living things may not be shows the stimulus, may not be shows the response against to the stimulus. Next to another important one is that growth. What is the growth? Whether it is appears only in the case of the living and in both living and non-living it is appears means growth is nothing but either due to increase the number of the cell or due to increased biomass, size of the body if it is increases, then we can say that is the growth. Definitely growth may be occur either by due to increase the number of the cells or by increase the amount of biomass. Either by increase the number of the cells or by increase the amount of biomass. If the size of the body is overall increases, then we can say that is the growth here. Definitely the important two characteristic features of growth are, one is increase number of cells. Second one, increase amount of biomass. Increase the amount of biomass. Definitely by increasing the number of the cell, if the growth is occurs, that growth is said to be as the hyperplasia growth. That is said to be as the hyperplasia growth. In most of the highly developed individual, definitely this kind of the hyperplasia growth is appears. During the embryonic development, definitely this kind of the hyperplasia growth is appears. Due to the increased number of the cell, if the growth is occurs, that is said to be as the hyperplasia growth. Instead of that, without increasing the number of the cell, by increasing the size of the cell, by increasing the amount of biomass, if growth is occurs, that is said to be as the hypertrophy growth. Definitely this is the cell. Without increasing the number of the cells, by simply increasing the amount of biomass, if this kind of the growth is occurs, then that is said to be as the hypertrophy growth. This is said to be as the hypertrophy growth. Without increasing number of cells, simply by increasing the amount of biomass, if this kind of the growth is occurs, then that is said to be as the hypertrophic growth. Specifically in the case of the nematodes, that is nothing but Nematyhelminthes individuals, this kind of the hypertrophic growth is very commonly appear. In the case of the Nematyhelminthes individuals, in adults, number of the cells are not increases, number of the cells always remains constant. But how that kind of the growth is occurs means, by simply increasing amount of biomass, by simply increasing the size of the cell, growth is occurs in the case of the nematode, that is said to be as the hypertrophic growth. Means what I am saying here, that growth is occurs either by increase the number of the cells in the body or by increase amount of the biomass, growth is occurs in the living organisms. Definitely due to the increase in number of the cell, if growth is occurs, that is said to be as the hyperplasia growth. Otherwise, due to the increased amount of biomass, if growth is occurs, that is said to be as the hypertrophy growth. Definitely in the case of the living organisms, this growth is always internal. This growth is internal. Means either increase the number of the cells may be occurs inside of the body, or increased amount of the biomass is also occurs inside of the body. So in the case of the living organism, growth is not occurs by deposition of material on surface of the body. Growth is not occurs due to the deposition of the external material. So definitely in living organisms inside of body, growth is occurs due to the increased number of the cell or due to increased amount of biomass. So that only growth in the living organisms is internal. Growth in living organisms is internal. But in the case of the non-living organisms, growth is external. Definitely growth is also appears in the case of the non-living organisms. In the case of the non-living things also growth is occurs, but that is external. That is mainly due to the deposition of the foreign material over it here. Due to the deposition of the dust particle, due to the deposition of the foreign material over the surface of that non-living thing, its thickness is increases, its size is increases. That kind of the growth is said to be as the external growth. In the case of the non-living organisms also growth is appears, but that is external. That is not by increase the number of the cell. That is not by the increased amount of the biomass. That is by simply deposition of the foreign particle. That is by simply deposition of the dust particles over the surface of non-living substance. So means growth is appears in both living as well as in non-living. So that only we cannot say growth is the definitive feature of living organisms only. We cannot say growth is the characteristic feature of the living organism, definitive feature of the living organism, because growth is appears in both living as well as in non-living organisms. Again, in the case of the living organisms, again, in plants, growth is continuous. Definitely in the case of the plant, growth is continuous. But in the case of animals, growth is limited. Definitely growth is limited in the case of the animal, but in the case of the plants that is continuous. Means continuously plants may be gives new branches with new flowers throughout its lifespan, throughout its life history. These plants may be gives of new branches, gives off new flowers. So that only in plants we can say growth is continuous, whereas in the case of the animal, growth is limited. For example, in our body, up to 18 years, growth is occurs, then onwards growth is gradually decreases and finally stop. Means definitely in the case of the human, up to teenage, growth is occurs, then after it will be stop. Means in our body growth is not continuous. Definitely in animal, growth is occurs up to a certain age, then after it will be stop. But in the case of the plant, definitely growth is occurs continuously. This is the second character. Third one is the metabolism. Third characteristic feature of living organisms is the metabolism. What is the metabolism means? The sum total chemical reactions together called as metabolism. Sum total chemical reactions which are occurs in our body for sustaining of life of an individual, they together constitute metabolism. Means what are the sum total chemical reactions? That may be digestion, that may be respiration, that may be excretion, means the formation of the excretory product, that may be dissociation of the ATP into ADP plus PI. Means whatever the function which may be appears in our body, whatever the chemical reaction which is appears in our body, all such chemical reactions are together called as the metabolism. Metabolism nothing but sum total chemical reactions together called as metabolism. Definitely metabolic activity nothing but it is a body function which is required for sustaining of life is said to be as the metabolic activity. Metabolism, in metabolism, sum total chemical reactions nothing but chemical reaction, nothing but metabolic activity. Then what is the metabolic activity means? The body function, metabolic activity is nothing but body function. Body function which is required for sustaining of life, which is required for the survival of life is said to be as the metabolic activity. Definitely metabolic activity may be digestion, may be respiration, may be excretion, may be circulation. So definitely digestion must be required for the survival of life. Without getting digestion, it's not possible to sustain a person for a longer period. So without a digestion, without a digestive functioning, it's not possible for sustaining for a longer period. So that only it is required for sustaining. So it is the metabolic activity. Respiration is also necessary for sustaining of the life. That's also metabolic activity. Excretion. What is excretion? Elimination of nitrogenous waste material from our body. Elimination of nitrogenous waste material from our body is said to be as the excretion. Nitrogenous waste material may be ammonia, may be urea, may be uric acid. So, elimination of nitrogenous waste material such as ammonia, such as urea, such as uric acid is said to be as the excretion. That's also necessary. From time to time, excretory material have to be eliminated to the out from our body. Otherwise, they becomes a toxic. They may be causes the harmful effect on our body. Next, definitely for all this kind of the metabolic activities, energy must be required. For all such metabolic activities, energy must be required. From where that kind of the energy is available means the principal source of energy for living organism. The principal source of energy for living organisms is the sunlight. Sunlight is the principal source for energy for all living systems, for all living organisms. Then, how that kind of the energy is trapped by plant, how that kind of the energy reaches to the animal's body means, definitely plants are with chlorophyll in their green leaves. In their green leaves, chlorophyll is present in the case of the green leaf of plant that trap the solar radiation that is useful for converting of CO2 into carbohydrate later in the form of the carbohydrate that will be reaches into the animal's body. Means solar radiation is trapped by green plants. Solar radiation is trapped by green plants. Later they perform the photosynthesis. By that way, starch material gets synthesized. That starch material gets transferred into the animal body. In that way, energy gets transferred. Energy gets transferred. Chlorophyll, which is present in the green plants, trap the solar radiation, and by utilizing that energy, they may be synthesis the carbohydrate by the photosynthesis. Means 6 CO2 plus 12 H2O means definitely energy which is trapped by chlorophyll of green plant. That radiant energy is used for fixation of, for combining of CO2 with water to form the C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. This is said to be as the photosynthesis. This process is said to be as the photosynthesis. Means in the photosynthesis, whatever the solar radiation, whatever the sunlight which is trapped by chlorophyll of green plant, by utilizing such energy, this CO2 is combined with the water inside of the leaf of a plant. Finally, that will be leads to the formation of the starch, that is the carbohydrate. Along with that, oxygen as well as the water is also gets releases. This is said to be as the photosynthesis. This reaction is said to be as the photosynthesis. In the photosynthesis, starch material is gets synthesized by the inorganic molecules. Finally complex organic molecule formation is taken place. So that only photosynthesis is said to be as the anabolism. This is the anabolic activity. Anabolic activity nothing but synthetic activity. Any type of the substance synthesis, if it is taken place, then that is said to be as the anabolism, that is the anabolic activity. Definitely in this case, in photosynthesis, CO2 combines with water in the presence of the solar radiation. Finally, that leads to the formation of the starch or the carbohydrate. So, this is the synthetic activity in this starch material is gets synthesized. That is the anabolic activity. But in respiration, definitely it is completely opposite. In the case of the respiration nothing but oxidation. In respiration or oxidation, definitely starch material, that is the C6H12O6, is combines with 6O in the presence of 6H2O, gives rise to 6CO2 plus 12H2O plus 36 ATP. Means in oxidation, organic compound is gets splitted into CO2 and water in the presence of oxygen. That is said to be as the catabolism. This is said to be as the catabolism or catabolic activity. Catabolism nothing but if complex organic compound is gets splitted into inorganic compounds, that is said to be as the catabolism. Here starch material is dissociated into the CO2 and water to release 36 ATPs. That is the catabolism. But here, by utilizing solar radiation, by utilizing the sunlight, definitely CO2 is combined with water to form the carbohydrate. That is the photosynthesis, that is the anabolism. Means in our body, whatever the metabolic activities which are occurs, all may not be useful for synthesis of new material, all may not be useful for the broken down of organic compound into inorganic. Certain activities useful for synthesis of new material, they are said to be as the anabolic activity, that is the anabolism. Certain type of the activities useful for brokening of complex material into simple, they are said to be as the catabolism. Then metabolism is equal to anabolism plus catabolism. Sum total chemical reactions nothing but all anabolic reactions as well as catabolic reactions together called as the metabolism. Metabolism is equal to anabolism plus catabolism. Very important neat objective question is that how the question may be asked on this particular concept in NEET examination means which is the correct So how the question may be framed on this particular concept in NEET examination means, which of the following is correct in related to metabolism. So how the question may be framed on this particular concept in NEET examination means, which of the following is correct in related to metabolism is the question. First option, metabolism is equal to anabolism minus catabolism. Second option, metabolism is equal to anabolism only. Third option, metabolism is equal to catabolism. Fourth option, metabolism is equal to anabolism plus catabolism. So of these four options, which is correct in related to metabolism means, metabolism is equal to anabolism plus catabolism, means all synthetic activities as well as all destructive activities which are occurs in our body are collectively called as the metabolism. So that only answer one is metabolism is equal to anabolism plus catabolism, means all sum total chemical reactions which are occurs in our body together constitute metabolism. Again, in our body, how the energy is supplied to each and every organ, how the energy is supplied, in what form that will be supplied to each and every cell of a organ means, in the form of ATP. In the form of the ATP, energy is supplied to each and every cell for its growth, for its repair, for its regeneration. What is the meaning of the ATP? Adenosine triphosphate, that is the adenosine triphosphate is ATP. That ATP is principally acts as cellular energy currency. This is the principal source of energy for each and every cell in our body. To each and every cell, this energy is supplied in the form of the ATP only. So that only ATP is said to be as the cellular energy currency. Cellular energy currency. Definitely to each and every cell, energy is available in the form of the ATP only. So that only that is said to be as the cellular energy currency. Means in our body each and every cell is receives energy in the form of the ATP only. This is the metabolism. Next one is the reproduction. Next characteristic feature of living organisms is reproduction. Reproduction is appears only in living organism. Reproduction may not be appears in the non-living organisms. What is the meaning of the reproduction? What is the meaning of re means again? Production means production. Means each and every generated individual after acquiring sexual maturity, they must be gets delivered daughters of next generation. Means reproduction nothing but each and every generated daughters after acquiring the sexual maturity, definitely they may be involved in the sexual contact, they may be involved in reproduction, they may be gets to produce the daughters of their own kind. Means process of production of daughters of their kind, process of production of daughters of their own kind is said to be as the reproduction. Definition is process of production of daughters of their kind or their own kind is said to be as the reproduction. Process of production of daughters of their own kind means always humans delivers only human, always dogs delivers only daughters of dogs, always cats delivers daughters of cats. Means definitely the daughters who may be born from the parents must be resembles their parents only, but not others. That means own kind. Definitely daughters must be resembles with their parents. That is nothing but own kind. Means humans always deliver to the daughters of humans. Cats always delivers to the daughter cats. Dogs always delivers the daughter dogs. That is said to be as the process of production of daughters of their own kind. Then what is the reason to resemble the daughters of their parents? How that kind of the daughters may be acquired certain characters of their parents. Means during the reproduction, genetic material such as the DNA, during the reproduction from their parents, genetic material such as the DNA gets transferred into the daughters. By that way only the daughters may be. During the reproduction, DNA is passed from the parent to the daughters. Due to that reason, daughters must be resemblance of their parents. Again, in how many kinds this reproduction may be appears in the case of the animals? Means reproduction principally are of two types. One is asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction. Second one is the sexual reproduction. Reproduction principally are of two types. One is the asexual reproduction, second one is the sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction means without formation of sexual cell, if in single parent reproduction is occurs to produce the daughters, then that is said to be as the asexual reproduction. Without formation of sexual cell, no formation of sexual cell, without formation of sexual cells, by participation of single parent, if daughter's production is occurs, then we say that is the asexual reproduction. Then what is the meaning of these sexual cells? Means in the case of the male, that is the sperm cell. In the case of the female, that is the ova or ovum or oote. That is in the case of the female. So definitely in the case of the male, sperm cell is a sexual cell. In the case of the female, that is the ova or ovum or the oote. Without the formation of this sexual cell, without involvement of the sperm cell and ovum, by the participation of single parent, if this daughter's production is taken place, that kind of the reproduction is said to be as the asexual reproduction. Instead of that, by the involvement of the sexual cell, by the involvement of sexual cell such as the sperm cell and ovum, if daughter production is taken place by the involvement of both parents, then that is said to be as the sexual reproduction. By the formation of the sexual cell, by the participation of both parents, if daughter's production is taken place, then that is said to be as the sexual reproduction. In the sexual reproduction, sperm cells are produced from the male parent, ovum is produced from the female parent. These two are gets fertilized. Finally, zygote is formed here. Due to the fertilization of sperm cell with ovum, definitely diploid state of the zygote is formed here. Later from this, finally, daughter or offspring gets produced here. In that way, by the participation of both parents, by the involvement of the sexual cell formation, if daughters are gets produced, then it is said to be as the sexual reproduction. Again, in the case of the asexual reproduction, definitely single parent gets involved, sexual cell formation is not occurs. Then what are the various types of asexual reproductive methods are appears in the case of the animal kingdom? What are the various type of the asexual reproductive methods? Means one is the binary fission, second one is the budding, third one is the fragmentation. Specifically, in protozoa, binary fission type of the asexual reproduction is appears. What is the binary fission means? If the single parent, if it is gets divides into two equal daughters, then that is said to be as the binary fission. For example, just assume this is the paramecium, this is the single parent. If the single parent gets divides into two equal daughters, then that is said to be as the binary fission. Bi means two, fission means division, fission means cutting. If the single parent body gets divided into two equal daughters, then that is said to be as the binary fission. This is very clearly appear in the case of the protozoans. In the case of the protozoan such as the paramecium, in the case of the protozoan such as Euglena, this kind of the binary fission is very commonly appear. In protozoans, binary fission is appears. What are the example for protozoans means? Euglena, again paramecium, or better example for binary fission. Budding is very commonly appear in the case of the sponges, in case of hydra. What is the budding means? A small outgrowth is at first formed on the surface of body, later that is separated, later that will be gets developed into daughter. For example, when we observe the hydra, just assume this is the hydra body, this is the hydra. In budding at first, a small outgrowth is formed on the surface of body at base. A small outgrowth is formed on the surface of the body at base. Later, it will be separated from the mother's body. Later, that will be developed into a daughter later. In that way, if this kind of the small body is at first form on external surface of body, later if it will be developed into young one, then that is said to be as the budding. Third, fragmentation. This is very clearly appears in the case of the planaria. This is the platyhelminthes individual. Planaria is a platyhelminthes individual. Fragmentation means at first mother's body, gets divides into many pieces. Later each and every piece gets developed into a young one. At first this mother's body gets splitted into many pieces. Later each and every piece gets developed into young one. Each and every piece is developed into daughter. That is said to be as the fragmentation. If in the case this kind of the body is splitted into many pieces, each and every piece if it will be developed into young one later, that is said to be as the fragmentation.